Surprise, everybody. I am doing this surf report one day early. This is Christmas Eve, and it's early for obvious reasons. Tomorrow is the normal day that we do the surf reports on Wednesdays. Well, that just happens to be Christmas. The next surf report is going to be the same way. I'm going to try to get that out on New Year's Eve, just like I did here today on Christmas Eve. So this video this week, we're looking at a whole lot of hopium galore, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a very positive way, most positive sense you can imagine. We have a new moon, we have a new year in this one surf week. So we have a lot to talk about. There's not much depicted here because the main energies from the tropical astrology is that new moon in Capricorn. That's towards the end of the week. It's on Monday, the 30th, I believe. I'll check that, make sure. And then we have New Year's. So we have the New Year, the Gregorian calendar is based on solar. So that solar shift happens into 2025. Pretty much the same time as a new moon in Capricorn, which is the lunar cycle. So those are happening not perfectly in alignment, but very, very close. And then we have some squares, some oppositions to talk about, but I don't think that's going to really make it a negative feeling. The I-Ching that rolled out had change lines 1 and 5. With hexagram 5, and it's basically saying that we're sensing that something big is going to happen. It doesn't really denote whether or not it's negative or positive, but the dream bot, our meter on the collective unconscious, is totally like great awakening, exalted consciousness kind of thing. So I'm interpreting that as a very positive thing. A sense of hope, sense of positive expectation, especially after I show you these alignments. I think you're going to agree, but you don't have to. Pretty high congruency score, not real tight that we've seen before, but still pretty good. All right, let's get started. Shout out to Liz Adair, winner of the best comment this week, and it has to do with the energy windows. And this is not the only energy window comment, so I think it's pretty clear based on this comment about the energy windows. Love the energy windows if you have the time. Wins the best comment, indicating that you're not the only one that wants those. I personally like the energy windows. It just takes so much energy, paradoxically, to get them out. But I love doing them if I have time, and so I will. All right, let's go look at the Dreambot real quick. That's not the Dreambot. That is number one word in the collective unconscious, spirit. And then all these other words are like, well, exalted consciousness, like positive type consciousness. All right, so there's that. That's, pretty simple. And then there's a lot of red words in there. Red meaning that they're all in the same theme. I do different colors for the different themes. We just had one main theme. There's other themes like time, but it's not as dominant. I just like extracting the dominant theme in the collective unconscious. All right. We are right in the middle of our 6-month eclipse cycle, and right here at the end of the Gregorian 2024, right last day of our surf week is going to be a new year. But before that, we have a new moon in Capricorn. All right, we'll discuss all of that. We have the rest of December to talk about. So in this chart, I just want you to see that we're returning to that Mercury opposed Jupiter alignment. We talked about that in the earlier part of December, and now because of Mercury direct, he was in retrograde here, making the opposition with Jupiter. and now it's direct. So making another opposition. We're returning to that one. Sun is in Capricorn, obviously. And then we're moving into 2025. A lot of big shifts, particularly in the further out, slower planets. A lot of those are moving into different signs. So it's going to be a subtly but powerful. It's not going to be like this obvious shifts, but if you're attuned, if you're sensitive and you're aware, you'll feel those big changes in the background. The full moon this month is on the 13th of January with a Cancer full moon, and the new moon is on the 29th of January in Aquarius. All right, here's the Hopium graph. It's a lot of, remember, just coming off of Christmas, so on Thursday, the 26th, kind of the energetic kind of letdown, because you've also not in a negative letdown, but just like because that big milestone is over. But then immediately, I think most of us are look for the next either off time or holiday, or a lot of us looking at the new moon and the new year. So just that alone has us looking forward to something. But there's these alignments that have us feeling like there's something big coming. And, we hear that all the time. I know just around the corner, something big's happening, and then nothing bigger. But I'm not focused on the outcome, whether or not something big is going to happen. I'm more worried about the feeling. And so a lot of us have given up on that. Oh, it's just around the corner. But really, I think authentically in this week, it's going to feel like something big is right around the corner. And I think it's going to be a positive hope feeling. Hope doesn't necessarily denote positive. Hope almost denotes fear. But I want to make sure that I'm not mixing the two. I'm talking about a sort of a positive, loose sense of general hope coming. All right, that's the big picture. All right, here we go. Mercury oppose Jupiter. Mercury is no longer in retrograde. Mercury is direct. Both these planets are in the opposite owner's sign, or opposite home, and both in detriment. And so we're in a kind of foreign land on both of these, and they're in opposition to each other. Which, if you really correlate these two, we've got the lower mind and the higher mind in a needed and a required balancing act with this alignment. That's what these oppositions do. They can feel very conflicted, or if you master it, they can complete itself. And such is the way this week, when you've got a possibility of completing higher and lower mind in both foreign lands. I'd call them foreign because Jupiter is in the Mercury's home and vice versa. All right, this represents a dynamic tension between expansive philosophical thinking and practical, detail-oriented communication. The benefits of this that are possible is the ability to inspire and motivate others with compelling narratives and ideas, possibly. Or you can have the capacity to find common ground, especially with that air sign in Gemini. Facilitate understanding between different perspectives. But we might have a tendency to overpromise or exaggerate potential outcomes, or difficulty staying focused. This archetype might be the adventurous storyteller, the enthusiastic explorer, the exaggerating messenger, or the visionary translator. A lot of things on Mercury early on, so mind is active. And now we're looking at obstacles. We're looking at Saturn. We have Mercury square Saturn, and this is exact. Now, I'm not be careful, because I'm not saying that all of a sudden, because I talked about Mercury and Jupiter on Thursday, that now all of a sudden on Friday it doesn't matter anymore. Most of these alignments I'm talking about are gonna be present for multiple days, and I'm just adding to it. I could just use one chart, but I might as well talk about the most dominant in today, Friday, the 27th. This alignment goes exact, while the other alignment still present. So 14 degrees of Sagittarius, 14 degrees in Pisces with Saturn. So this represents a tension, a square, between expansive, optimistic thinking and the need for structured, realistic planning. This alignment challenges us to find a balance between inspired vision, but also acknowledging the practical limitations. The benefits here that you can aspire to is the ability to create inspiring plans that are grounded in reality, skill in breaking down ambitious ideas into practical, achievable steps. This will be very appropriate for later in the week. Capacity to find creative solutions to limitations and obstacles, because, we're adaptable Mercury here, adaptable mind, the pressure to get around those obstacles. You're going to see that in the solution. And Saturday, now we head into our relationships, and Venus is in Aquarius, and now this is going exact. So Uranus retrograde square Venus, and that happens at 1:41 a.m. It's a tension between the desires for freedom, innovation, and experimentation in relationships and values. That's Venus in Aquarius, versus the need for stability, security, consistency based on what's recalled from the past, because Uranus is in retrograde in reality in the Taurus fixed Earth. There's a push-pull between wanted excitement and craving feeling rooted. The square isn't just some mundane alignment for you to, overlook. We have this Venus squaring the ruler of the planet that she is in, or the zodiac sign that she is in. And so playing by Uranus's rules in a retrograde. So lots of this is a special highlight this week, and it's right in the middle of our CIRF week. This proposes to us an openness to unconventional approaches to love and beauty. We might have a collective value shift to very unique inventions. That sort of inspires a feeling of, one example could be crypto. This is a crypto alignment because Venus is finance, but it's in Aquarius. So it's unique finance, change finance, inventions. That's another Uranian archetype. The willingness to challenge the stale relationship patterns and financial habits, possibly. So the archetypes here are potentially very interesting. You got the unpredictable financier, gambling on cutting-edge ventures. That speaks to crypto, in my opinion. Progressive partner improvising relationship dynamics. But you might also have the quirky romantic, or the gambling financier. Sunday, we return to that Mars opposed Pluto. Here we go. Mars retrograde. This was quite a while ago. When Mars was going direct, made an opposition to Pluto. So this is the two power planets. We got the deep subconscious power with Pluto, and the overt, outer, obvious, physical power, the Yang, Mars. This opposition represents a powerful clash between individual will and collective transformation. tensions grow between personal desires and the need for profound change in society. You might experience this opposition as an opportunity for deep personal transformation and empowerment, but also a tendency towards excessive egoism, pride, maybe some stubbornness as Mars tries to inflict that. We might see a big risk or an uptick in power struggles with this alignment here. But with archetypically, what we have is the fiery rebel challenging the status quo. You might have the charismatic leader spearheading collective evolution, and you might have the passionate warrior confronting entrenched power struggles or structures. Sorry. All right. And then in Monday, the 30th, I was right. The new moon in Capricorn is the big highlight. This is what we've been looking forward to all week and the new year coming up. But this happens at 4:26 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's the new moon in Capricorn at 9 degrees, 44 minutes of Capricorn. That suggests a fresh start, new beginnings in the areas of career, ambition, responsibility, leadership discipline, long-term, short-term, medium-term goals. It's time to plant seeds for practical, tangible achievements and to lay a foundation for future success. What you might get out of this new moon energy at this time frame is clarity of purpose. You might even have the motivation to pursue the goals with lots of determination, enhanced ability to create structure, order, and realistic plans, increased patience, perseverance, and resilience, especially in the face of any obstacles. That's what Capricorn is good at, is getting through and over and around any of those obstacles that show up. And they always just seem to show up for Capricorn, don't they? Support for taking on greater responsibility. But there's also this tendency towards excessive seriousness or some rigidity, overwhelmed at all the opportunities you suddenly notice, because this is an opportunistic energy. The archetypes determine mountain climber scaling the peaks of achievement, the responsible authority providing structure and guidance. That is a play off of that Mars in Leo. But this Capricorn new moon is the ambitious strategist, the disciplined builder, the responsible leader. And don't forget here, this is the time that you're going to be creating your new moon goals. This is a lunar phase. So Capricorn denotes some options with lunar goals might be, and remember this is about a 30-day period. So what can you get done in about 30 days? Well, anything having to do with career would be a good thing. Anything with financial planning, personal discipline, time management, maybe health and wellness, building structure, leadership development. And long down the road is more of like legacy and reputation building. And then I skipped Tuesday the 31st because the time's compressed. You only have a half a day between these two charts because this chart is 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year, January 1st, 2025. And that's Wednesday the 1st at midnight. And it's a Happy New Year. But here's what we have. Here's what's special for this exact time, the midnight Central Standard Time. We have the sun obviously in Capricorn that we talked about. The sun makes a sextile over to Saturn in Pisces. And then secondarily, the second biggest energy is always the moon, or normally the moon. Moon happens to be conjunct with Pluto together, and that makes an opposition over to Mars that we talked about. And then Mars has that trine over to Neptune in Pisces. Neptune in Pisces has the square over to Mercury. Mercury has that opposition over to Jupiter. And Mercury also has the inconjunct over to Uranus. So there's a lot of things happening. So trying to put all that together into one snippet, how does that all feel when it's all together as one, is a dynamic interplay of energies that challenges one to harness your ambition, power, and vision towards the manifestation of soulful inspired goals. I mean, that sounds like New Year, right? And there are potent energies of transformation and regeneration with Pluto, especially with the emotions and moon over Pluto. That must be balanced with the mature discipline and discernment. That's Saturn. And it also has the drive for personal self-expression, which is Mars in Leo. And that must align with the higher spiritual purpose and compassion with Neptune in Pisces. We have the original ideas and flashes of genius and inventions with Uranus and Taurus. Those need to be grounded in practical planning and communicated with wisdom, which is Mercury in Sagittarius. So, with this Happy New Year, we have a passionate manifester who has a purposeful vision, transformative tactician. We have a spiritual samurai and an innovative actualizer. So it's big, powerful energy, forward moving, and this is what we've been waiting for this whole time. Right? That was the Hopium. There might be more, might be other outcomes, but this was definitely in the energy. All right, here's the I-Ching. I-Ching 5, change lines 1 and 5. A fisherman can cast a line, but still can only wait for the fish to bite. Your catch will come in its own good time. You cannot make it come any sooner. So there's this waiting. The emotional state of hexagram 5, it's a person that feels a lot of anticipation, possibly some frustration or anxiety, and cultivating patience as one recognizes that this period of waiting is necessary for future success or growth. But with the change lines, you have change line 1, that's initial hesitation. So this week is going to start off with kind of this knowing that the initial period of hesitation or doubt about the waiting might feel uncertain or impatient initially, questioning the wisdom of waiting. And perception could be that there's a fear of missed opportunities leading to a perception that immediate action might be necessary. That might be motivating you, which would be a bad thing. In other words, motivated to do something when we really should just be waiting. And by the way, we're starting to dabble into the behaviors. We're going to put all that together, and I'm going to give you a summary of those solutions, so you're not getting contradictory information. Because on the one hand, you're going to hear this is all this waiting, and yet you're also going to hear "go get 'em" because of the solution triangulation. So I'm going to put it all together, and it'll make sense. It won't be contradictory. Change line 5 says the inner truth. This line often indicates that the waiting has led to an inner understanding or truth about oneself or the situation, and a sense of inner calm and peace. All right, we're going to transition to the solution, but first, we're going to summarize this. All right, the waiting game starts on CIRF Day 1. That's Thursday, December 26th. And it feels like something big is about to happen. Well, there is at the end of the CIRF week. That we have the new moon in Capricorn. We have the New Year's 2025. These mark big synchronistic changes in both lunar and solar cycles. The period before that is motivating, visionary, inventive, relationally adjusting, risk-taking, gambling, etc. It's a hopium galore as we await two cyclic changes happening in close proximity. So here's the picture. You have both the Capricorn new moon, and he's celebrating the New Year's 2025. All right, time to hit the solution. First, we put the change lines in and we get hexagram 46, and this is the complete opposite of waiting. It's the emphasis on upward motion, movement from obscurity to influence, with growth that is supported by adaptability and an absence or the obliteration of obstacles. Looking for behaviors now, so anything having to do with growth and progress and advancement and perseverance, modesty, and diligence. These all sound like very Capricorn traits. Perseverance, modesty, cultivation of character, incremental progress, adaptability, getting around or obliterating obstacles. All right, so we had that. Then I'm going to put the conversion chart in. We're going to do the new moon. So I put the new moon in, and right at that point is Rave Mandala Gate 38. So we'll look at that, and then we'll look at Sidereal Sagittarius, all for our solution. Rave Mandala Gate 38 is opposition. Line 1 is qualification, tempering opposition based on the circumstances, a psychic attunement that guarantees proper action, the psychic gift of knowing when and how to fight. Knowing when to fight, and which battles to fight. All right. And here's our proposed solution, putting it all together. Remember, you've got pushing upward. All these kind of rattle the same kind of tune. Pushing upward, right action, the warrior, knowing when to fight. Sidereal Sagittarius, form of a warrior with the arrows and likes to just go untethered. And the new moon is go, go, go. So there is a powerful triangulation suggesting that you set bold intentions, demonstrate fortitude, adaptably conquer obstacles, grow to new heights, and advance confidently. Okay, you can already hopefully see that there is a contradiction here because we have the new moon. That is appropriate for the new moon and after. However, prior to the new moon, we have the waning crescent moon, which is not normally the type of time where you go out and do a bunch of stuff. It's the reverse. So we're going to relax first, rejuvenate, and then when the new moon happens, this is where these behaviors come in. But first here, ascend and push upward. The rave suggests that you will have heightened intuitive knowing about what should be done. Use this for aiming your arrows higher and further in accordance with the I-Ching 46 and Sidereal Sagittarius. When you set your new moon goals, consider also setting some longer term ones, as this reading also includes a new year. And in the year, not everybody has their new year goals, but this reading suggests that you should. In the same week, within a couple of days, with less than a couple of days, we have a new moon in Tropical Capricorn, and we have a new year. Prior to the new moon, relax, unwind, do very little. But after the new moon, this is where your sights are set sky high, and you can start to lunge and to get there. Be powerful, be adaptable, be confident and inspiring, and enjoy the journey. All right, so to summarize, from Thursday to Monday, or just prior to Monday, it's going to be more relaxing, waiting. There's that patience right? Dominant patience. And then once the new moon happens, you're setting goals, you're getting started, and off you go to the races in this arrangement. Upward, powerfully, adaptably, with fortitude, and descend strong and upward. All right, how'd we do today, everybody? I hope that more energy windows will be coming out. I do have a few more big tasks that I got to complete, and of course, these CIRF reports do take a lot of time as well. But I do hope to get back into the energy windows. All right, we have 2 holidays for those of you who are watching this video before Christmas. Merry Christmas, and also Happy New Year. But I will be putting out a new video before the next holiday. So right before the New Year, New Year's Eve, will be the next CIRF report. And then we'll get back to the every Wednesday again. All right, that's it. Happy holidays, everybody. See you next week.